If your courses have a low finish rate, you don't receive raving testimonials from students, or you're just not selling as many courses as you'd like, then you need to watch this video. I will show you why focusing on your copy isn't getting you the results that you want. Hi, my name is Nicola, and I help multi-offer creators make most, if not all, of their revenue from their digital products. Today, I will show you how building trust with your audience actually gets you more course sales. And this is a strategy that I use with my own clients every day. Before we dive in, if you're selling a bunch of digital products and they're actually not connected in a funnel, they feel scattered, go and grab my free training in the description. So in 2025, buyers think differently and they need other things to actually convince them to buy. So you might be getting sales now, but you're watching this video because you want to meet or exceed your goals. And I'm here to tell you that if you do these changes, you will make more money from your... So most of the time when I review course creators copy, it's pretty good. You've worked with your ideal clients for years, you know them really well, your messaging is usually pretty on point, I would say. So your copy actually isn't the reason that you're not getting sales. The number one reason is that there is value. The number one reason is a lack of testimonials or testimonials that are not used strategically. There is value in other people speaking for your course. Psychologically, we follow the actions of other people, especially when we're uncertain. So at a time like now, when trust is at an all-time low, we need to be leveraging testimonials to show that our courses and programs actually work. But be careful of the testimonial trap. And the testimonial trap is simply where our social proof and our testimonials only speak to how great the course is. They don't speak to transformations. They don't speak to results. They don't speak to objections. Okay, if your testimonials just say, this course was brilliant, I love this course, I love working with so-and-so, that testimonial is not actually going to be working to get you clients. That may have worked in 2020, 2021, but it is not going to work this year, and it certainly will not work next year either. We need to make sure that firstly, testimonials are from relatable people that the audience can identify with. For example, if your target audience is course creators who sell multiple digital products, you need to make sure that your testimonials are course creators who sell multiple products. Or if, for example, you work with mums, you want to make sure that your testimonials are from mums. Now, this might seem obvious because if that is your audience, then why would you have testimonials from other audiences or other people? If you work with a big cross section of people, for example, maybe you work with course creators, but you have a really specific offer that helps course creators in the hair and beauty industry. That's the difference there. So you want to make sure that you are speaking to the identity that your audience has or wants to have. So yes, some of that may be demographics, like a course creator in the hair and beauty industry, but let's say they want to be successful. They want to surround themselves with great people. You would want to show testimonials from people who have also felt like them. They had that same issue. They felt they couldn't relate. They felt they didn't belong. And then you want to show the transformation of now that they've hit this result, they belong and they've got work with all these people. So it needs to be from people they can identify with demographically and also speak to an identity that they have or want. And this identity might be something in the form of how they see themselves, how they see the world around them, what they think about themselves, the pain points that they have. It's going to vary for every audience, but once you pinpoint that identity, you need to be calling out in the testimonials. And you simply do that just by highlighting these testimonials and making sure that you call out this identity in the testimonial. So for example, before I started working with Nicola, I felt really stuck. My funnels were really scattered. I didn't feel successful. Everyone around me was launching all the time and having really profitable months, whereas I felt like I was floundering. Now I'm being invited to 7-figure networking events and I'm schmoozing with people who have 8-figure funnels, etc., etc. Now I've just made up that testimonial. It does sound like a brilliant testimonial, but as you can listen in that testimonial, I really hit on the before and after transformation and the identity that the audience wants and striving towards. So that's an example of a really strategic, really powerful testimonial. We also, like I've just said, need to make sure that the testimonial speaks to the results, transformation, and as well highlight any objections that people have when they join your. So if a major objection is that they don't have a lot of time and they worry that your course is going to take them too much time, we might want to have a testimonial from somebody who also felt that same objection, speaking to how they overcame it. So for example, before I joined, I worried that I didn't have time, but Nicola added in a AI bot that sped up the process for me and I got XYZ done in 3 hours. There we go. So not only have we called out to the person reading the testimonial that yes, you're not alone in feeling this way, other students have also felt that way, and this is how they overcome it. This is really powerful because they're seeing people who are just like them, who have the same doubts, fears, objections that they have, but they are also overcoming it and, most importantly, getting the same results that they also want to get. So they're really feeling like somebody's been in their shoes, and now it makes them feel empowered that they can get the same results as well. Now, if you update your testimonials or add them, if you don't have them, to your sales page and sales copy, I guarantee you will make more sales. And most importantly, you wouldn't have had to change a single word of copy, and I can hear your sigh of relief. To give you a quick client example of this, I worked with a client recently this year in April, and we added in lots of new testimonials and proof to her sales page. And we didn't actually change any of the messaging on the sales page. I think I just added in a few extra sections, really empowering sections, but we didn't change the messaging at all. So a quick example of this, when I worked with a client this year in April of 2025, and we added in fresh proof, fresh testimonials to her sales page and sales emails that spoke to the transformation of the course, that soothed objections and spoke to their identity. And the sales page conversion increased from 6.8% to 14.2%. That is not a typo, and that is without changing any of the copy. So it's super powerful to have this testimonials and proof, especially in the current landscape of course creators and the world of courses. Now, in terms of that conversion rate, this client's program was actually £2,000. So that means that for every 100 leads, an extra 7 were buying, meaning that for every 100 leads, she was getting an extra £14,000 in revenue. And this is the real world of what that conversion rate actually means. So this really does show the power of adding the social proof, adding these testimonials, especially when trust is at an all-time low. And another way that you can really increase this trust so that you can sell more course sales is to prove that your offer works. When you build your marketing around student results, it leads to better testimonials. The second way that you can get more course sales in 2025 is really leveraging this trust, okay? And that is proving that your offer works. When you build an offer that really focuses on getting student results and making sure that as many students hit the program promise as possible, that is going to lead to better testimonials for you. They're going to buy from you again because they know that your products actually solve the problem that they have, and that you're going to get organic referrals from them because they will refer your course to other people. So that's good for you. And you can also leverage all of this data back into your marketing. And I'm seeing it being a real missing point right now from a lot of marketing funnels and a lot of marketing copy that a lot of people are missing. It can take time to set up, but once it's set up, it gives you so many gold mines of data that you can use in your marketing. When I'm talking about data, I am talking about things like, on average, 80% of people finish this course, 80% of students increase their confidence, 50% of students achieve the program promise within 3 weeks. That's the sort of marketing data that we want to be collecting so that we can use it in our market. Now, not only can we use it in the marketing, but it also proves that the program works. So if your stats are not that good, then you need to change the program. You need to make it better so that people are finishing and getting the results. If they're good, and hopefully they will be, you can leverage that in your marketing to get more students in, and then the cycle repeats. Once you start using these stats, I would recommend updating them in the sales page every 3 months, every 6 months, depending on the number of people who are going through the program. And the sort of data that we want to be collecting ideally will soothe any objections. And the types of data that we want to be collecting ideally will prove the program promise. So if your program promise is, I help course creators make £10,000 in automated revenue within 3 weeks, just made that up. You want to have stats that back up that the majority of your students are actually hitting this program promise within the time frame. So they have to be making that 10,000 and it has to be within the time frame. Another type of data that you want to be collecting is any that soothes any objections that your audience has. So if your audience is worried about the amount of time something will take them to do, you want to be collecting data around how long it takes people to complete the program, how many hours are they spending on the material every week? And then you can leverage that in your marketing and say 80% of students completed the course in X hours, or students report that on average they spend 90 minutes a week on the content. So this is really a powerful way of how you can actually use data from the students to really overcome any objections, because it's actually more important or more believable if it's coming from data from students than it is coming from you. So you can make the claims, but we have to back it up with data, or it's being backed up by somebody else's in the form of case studies or testimonials. So what do you think is the missing gap that is losing you course sales? Do you think that it is your testimonials, or do you think that it is a lack of data? Type it in the comments. I want to know where you stand. And if you want to know what else is stopping you from making more money from your courses, grab my free training in the description below. You through how your scattered offer suite is at stopping your sales so that you can make more money. Thanks for watching, and remember, we do not always need to edit the copy to make more money and make more course sales. So show that your program works and add better testimonials, and you will make more money from your courses. If you like this, hit subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.